But what if the real risk is actually not exploring what else it is I could do?
The challenges that come with holding on to a vision long enough until someone else sees it too.
Figuring out my 5 to 9 or what it is I want to do outside of my day job.
I used to travel every other month when I worked a 9 to 5. And what I miss most isn't just the disposable income, it's the feeling of closing your laptop, setting your Slack status to on vacation, and disappearing without guilt. And when I chose the founder path, I gave that up. So when my friend won an all expenses paid trip to Orlando, she was like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Hell yeah." We're both building companies and we told each other, let's take one day to turn our brains off and just feel like kids again. So we did.
He asked what could he do for me. I told him that my love is free. But can you match me? I can do it all for myself. Want you but really don't need help. So can you match me? I like luxury. I like fancy things. Shine on my body. Live like royalty. Treat you like a king. If I trust, but you must be worthy of the crown. I'm not just anybody, born to live in luxury. La 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 lux. La 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 la.
I just got back from my first PTO and time flies because I was looking at my calendar and I realized that I've been at Adobe for almost 6 months now, which seems crazy to me. Can you guys believe that? I don't know if it's because Google was the longest company I've been at so far, or if it's because I switched over from finance into marketing at Adobe, but honestly, adjusting to this new job has been a lot harder than I expected. And I know that I'm still figuring out my 9 to 5, but something else that's really been on my mind recently has been figuring out my 5 to 9, or what it is I want to do outside of my day job. In our last video, I actually had this breakthrough where I realized I don't actually want to climb the corporate ladder. But here's what that no looks like to me. First, since leaving Google, I'm realizing how high the standards of excellence at Google actually are, especially after leaving and starting at a new company. But I think it taught me how to emulate excellence into what I do. And I still want to keep at that at Adobe. And in doing so, I want to emulate that same excellence into my 5 to 9, or what it is I decide to do outside of my day job.
Hi everybody, so I am back to reality and Disneyland was so much fun. I already wanted to go to another park next time, so we'll see. To catch you guys up, in terms of Kismet, I'm actually on my 3rd iteration. And basically what I mean by that is every iteration, I'm essentially trying to test a hypothesis. And I build a low fidelity prototype and I share it with my user tester group. So I was actually working on the scope of the 3rd iteration last night. I called up my friend G and I was like, hey, I just need an intellectual sparring partner. He was actually like, hey, why don't we actually do a workshop tomorrow? He runs his own design agency, so he does this stuff all the time. And I was like, you know what? That sounds great because I'm getting really tired of just talking to ChatGPT all day. So I'm grabbing some lunch for us before we do that. Oh, this is fun.
Huh?
This is fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It'll make it fun.
You know I like stickers.
Your mom's gonna come in. What are you guys doing?
She's like, what are you doing to my walls?
Yeah.
So tell me the one-liner purpose to something like this.
Purpose of this is we're thinking about the user side. You could see that here we have seeing, hearing, and saying, and think and feeling. This is all what they're doing in daily life. So you want to start with seeing?
Yeah.
And you're using pink?
Yeah.
Okay. This could go forever, so I'm going to put a timer on it for 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's 3 minutes. Oh my god, I love Post-its.
Okay, let's try this. I wish I had eyes in the back of my head. I've been working on my pride, but the rest of me cares. Every time I feel alive, it be loving the air. You my sinner, don't fold like it's Vanity Fair. Every time that I be down, then I be.
When we look at this, we're gonna find pain points and needs. This is where it connects the dots.
Okay.
Can we just go over
Yes.
what we put down?
Doctor's office, YouTube, Google, TikTok, library, ChatGPT.
What's the next step, right? And that's exactly a pain point. The users do not know
Yeah.
what their next step is.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So we could go around and see the notes, kind of pain point that users might have.
Cool.
Miss Independent, I be loving how you winning. I just wanna go catch your vibe. Ayy, wanna see you in the daytime and not when it only get dark outside. Ayy, type of love I can't hide. Ayy, maybe wanna blow your line. Ayy.
People with disease, I'm just gonna call them patients for now. But the things I read is just like the doctor says it's okay and everything. Is there even like answer?
Yeah, sometimes there isn't.
There is an answer.
Yeah.
So like, okay.
For people who do have certain chronic illnesses, getting the diagnosis isn't the answer. If you have like an acute condition
Yeah.
where it's like, I have a symptom, what's happening, and find out what's happening, they give you the surgery or medication, and then you're healed and then you're done.
Right.
Certain diseases, you keep getting treatment. Treatments don't stop. And the question is like, how do I live with this disease? They're grieving the fact that their life will no longer look the same. So they are simultaneously figuring out, what does my new life look like?
Baby, what's on your mind? Really wanna see your face. Baby, come through and slide. Spend the night at my.
Oh, my bangs are crazy. Maybe I need to put my sunglasses. To be really honest, the concept of a dream job, especially in a corporate sense, has really been eroding for me recently. And when I first graduated, especially because my parents were all the way in Seoul, Korea, I really prioritized stability with all the jobs I went for. So I went for big name corporations like a Disney or a Google. And I'd say at some point, I even achieved some of my dreams, you know? Like when I was contracting at Disney and I got converted to full-time, and even when I landed my dream job at Google, that felt like such a big deal to me, especially because when I first graduated, I went all the way to final rounds with Google and I got rejected. So really landing that job there felt like a dream come true. And in a funny way, I think my mid-20s felt a lot more stable than my late 20s. Because while I did really enjoy my time at Google and the people I met, and especially the financial security that it brought into my life, the longer I was there, the more I would wonder, is there something I'd be better at? But something else would come up and I would push that thought away until all of a sudden the layoffs hit. And as you guys know, I found my new gig at Adobe, but something's fundamentally shifted for me after all that. Because I think I always thought that at corporate, I was trading off stability and security for risk. But what if the real risk is actually not exploring what else it is I could do? There's been so much news again recently about all the layoffs in tech, and I really hope everyone is taking care of themselves during this time. Let us know in the comments how you guys are all doing with everything just going on right now in our industry. It's been a pretty tumultuous period for all of us. So while I'll keep sharing my 9 to 5 with you guys and what the transition's been like since the layoffs and just even switching departments from finance into marketing operations, I will also keep you guys in the loop of my very much in the works 5 to 9 as well.
Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a stream of consciousness, so bear with me a little bit. You know, something I've been thinking about, and it's one of those things where you don't know until you're actually in it. The challenges that come with holding onto a vision long enough until someone else sees it too. And I don't think it only relates to trying to start a company or whatever. I think it is relevant to a big change or anything that you want to do that only you get, but other people don't really get yet. And I think something I didn't realize is how lonely it would be. It's kind of like only you see the vision. And some days it's looking really hazy and you're like, wait, do I see it? You have to simultaneously see it and hold on to it for long enough for people to catch up and get to a point where it becomes undeniable. What's also equally hard is the discipline to refine that vision over time. And that's something I've been really learning as I'm now building, you know, the third iteration of Kismet, where it's like the only way I know I'm making progress is if I'm able to say that the vision has gotten clearer and sharper over time. Like I'm talking like week over week over week. And if it's not, if nothing has changed, then no progress has been made. And I think it's difficult to simultaneously hold on to that original vision that you've set for yourself, but also be open enough and be almost like detached enough to like evolve and pivot and change as necessary. And it's funny, the longer you are in this mindset, the more that you also see that you are truly in your own game. I think in the past, I tried to look to other people and use them as like pace setters. Like, you know, when you're training for a marathon and you're like, oh, I want to get a 7-minute mile, I'm gonna run with the 7-minute mile crew. But I realized that people were so different. Everyone has different motivations, different goals. I'm also simultaneously learning to like be my own pace setter and like set that bar really high. And only I can really know and be honest with myself. Is this really me at max capacity? And only I really know the answer to that. Anyway, enough blabbered for today. I'm gonna get back to work. My parents want to do like a movie night. I'm going to try to squeeze in as much work before then.
So what's been happening in my 5 to 9? Well, you're in the messy middle with me. I've been doing books like The Artist Way and Designing Your Life in order to actually start figuring out what I want and how to build that. And I've actually been working on something since our last video, which I'll share later.
So it's not a company or anything like that, but it's what I've been working on in my 5 to 9. And I see your guys' comments on wanting more tidbits into my life, like what it's been like leaving a long-term relationship. And this is where I plan to share more of that. I feel like for me, the hardest part about all this was knowing how to turn my vision into a reality. And I've actually been leaning into Brilliant to help me approach things in a new way.
Because I've been actively using their courses, they agreed to sponsor another video of ours. I've really enjoyed their logic and algorithm courses because it's really helped me structure my ideas and plans and even how I make decisions. And it makes sense because they've partnered with professors very renowned in their fields, like from MIT, to really help the average person like myself learn these courses on the fly in a way that is so digestible and just really easy to understand. And if you're also in that in-between phase, Brilliant's a great place to start rebuilding how you think.
And if you're interested, you can actually try Brilliant for free for a full 30 days.
We actually have a link in our description with Brilliant where you can actually get 20% off an annual subscription, so go check that out if you're interested.